We shocked the Elestrals world when we told you guys that Lunar is indeed in Daybreak alongside the Pharaoh Guy starter deck. But I have more Lunar cards to reveal today, and they're gonna blow your mind and change everything. We're counting down 25 days until Daybreak pre-orders open on July 12th. And don't forget, Shattered Stars members get it a day early, and we ship first in, first out. So you'll want to get those pre-orders in. Kicking this reveal off, we're going to show off Circle the Sky. That's right, the final Circle the Sky art to complete your collection. This one features Luminape and Alloon in a beautiful depiction by Giovanni, and I think you guys are going to love this. I'm very excited to complete my Circle the Sky collection, and I hope you guys are as well. But listen, I told y'all we had some spicy things. The first one is a new Nexus form of Pandalin, and that is Pandalins. Pandalins is a new Elestral with 4 attack and 1 defense that costs 1 Lunar that has a really cool unique effect. You can disenchant a Lunar Spirit from this Pandalins in order to return a counter rune from your underworld to your rune row face down. Much like Pandalin, you have the freedom of disenchanting from it to grab a rune, but instead of an invoke rune, you can actually grab a counter rune. Now, this is a little bit different because instead of adding it to your hand, you actually set it to the field face down. It does have to remain face down for a turn before you can cast that counter rune, but ultimately this is a balancing piece to ensure that your opponent knows exactly where that counter rune is. Otherwise, this card might be a little too strong. I do think Pandalins is going to make a splash in Daybreak and beyond for Lunar decks to regenerate their counter runes. Some important cards in the game, of course, and I can't wait to see it in full effect. Speaking of counter runes, this card, when I say is going to change the game, I really mean it. That is Dense Fog. Dense Fog is a brand new 1-cost counter rune that simply says suppress each Elestral that is not Lunar enchanted until the end phase. Now, for those who aren't familiar with the keyword suppress, that means that you shut off Elestral's effects and you apply this effect to the entire field. Every Elestral that is not enchanted with a Lunar Spirit has its effect shut off for the remainder of the turn, and Dense Fog is going to be meta game changing. It's important to note that Elestrals that have cast effects or receive effects will already have their effects put on the chain, and thus suppressing them does not stop those effects from happening, but Dense Fog does indeed stop Nexus effects, where you can Dense Fog the Elestral before that when you do effect kicks off. So cards like Spark It can lose its hand rip after the Nexus. Cards like Aphros would lose their draw effect. Dense Fog can counter so many Elestrals in the game and provide some much needed support to prevent some of these strategies from getting out of hand. I think this card is going to be a dominant force in the metagame, at the very least as a side deck card, but I think it's going to make a splash in a lot of main decks, especially since Lunar doesn't fully get released until so this thing can run its feast on everything in the game that's not enchanted by Lunar. And let's be honest, there's not going to be much enchanted by Lunar right now. Dense Fog is looking to be a huge addition to Daybreak. I'm not done there. I've got a brand new Lunar Elestral to reveal, and it is a Nexus form of our good friend Viserys. I can't wait to tell you guys about one of my new favorite Elestrals, Spectrus. Spectrus is a new 4 attacker with 2 defense, 1 cost Lunar with a crazy effect. This Spectrus gets +1 attack for each suppressed Elestral on the field. An incredible pairing for that counter rune Dense Fog we just talked about. However, when this Spectrus enters battle with an Elestral, you can suppress that Elestral until the end phase. That means Spectrus removes Foamy's effect and it prevents it from getting its search effect. That means that Spectrus can shut down things like Galaxy, which have their passive swapping effects. That also means that Spectrus can get incredibly strong when paired with cards like Dense Fog. This card is nuts. Spectrus is going to make an impact in the metagame, not just for Daybreak, for sets to come. I love this card, man, and I can't wait for you guys to use it when Daybreak drops. And believe it or not, I'm not done there. I have one more reveal today, and that is Stellar Spectrus. That's right, Stellar Spectrus, one of our brand new Stellars coming to Daybreak. Only 99 copies of this card will ever exist, and it's actually featured on our beautiful pack cards for Daybreak. So this is one you don't want to miss out on. Amalri hit a home run here, and I just love the black and yellow color palette on this guy. Lunar is going to be big in Daybreak in a big way. Dense Fog, Pandalins, Spectrus, Stellar Spectrus. Don't miss out. Mark it on your calendars. Pre-orders open in just a few days. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another epic reveal.